Are you guys ready for a really stupid episode that's going to make us a bit happier?
Isn't that all of our episodes is a bit of a stupid episode?
And I feel like our Hey K story episodes are very much more about talking something up and being like, no, no, it's good.
Yeah, no, you got a point.
I'm not. Most of our episodes are incredibly silly, stupid things that we like. And that's. If there's an ethos of this podcast, the Skeleton Crew podcast, which you are now currently listening to, starring your hosts, Sardo in the red jacket.
Hey,
Are you actually
that's
wearing.
me.
Are you wearing actual red?
It's kind of a maroon, so I mean it's close.
I'll count it. And I'm currently wearing blue. It's perfect. We're our colors. See? Look. Sometimes we obey our color schemes. IRL.
We've got color coding.
Yeah. You're kind of like the red tones, and I'm the blue tones.
Yeah,
And you're on the ones and twos. I'm on the threes
I
and
know.
fours.
Yes, indeed.
This is a terrible bit, and I'm not apologizing. This bit is not
But
good, but we're doing it anyways. Hi, everyone. Once again, this is the Skeleton Crew podcast. I'm Stross, that's Sardo. We're here to talk about something way less high minded than last week.
mm-hmm.
Because we can't be intelligent all the time.
But no less important.
Oh, no, not saying it's less important. I'm just saying we as people are very
Yes,
silly men. I would
we're
say,
we're, we're just men.
especially when we're with each other, the abject chaotic silliness jumps up.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, here we are. We're here together, and we're here to talk about a very important and sometimes controversial topic.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what makes a best girl or best boy, because we don't discriminate here.
But I mean we're focusing on it because I feel like it's not so much a gendered thing as it is a it's the vibe is different for best girl and for one you don't get a lot of best boys.
This is true. I think also because when it comes to like best boy, it's not less complicated or more complicated, but it's more like which scrungly bingus is your favorite?
Like I would say a true best boy is few and far between. If you take Emil from Near,
Yeah.
that's a best boy.
Yeah, that's a best boy. That is a textbook best boy. He's our gay skeletal son. We
Pure of heart.
we adopted him back in the year 2035,
Hmm.
and we've raised him very well. Thank you.
Very proud of him. I'd say he's risen above his raising, honestly.
Yeah. Here we are in the muck, and he's floating, and we're like, oh, look at him, he floats.
Now, tell me though, Strauss.
Hmm.
Um, by your definition, what is a best girl?
I feel like,
Simple textbook
well, yes,
definition.
because like here's the thing, I want to erase all the aspects of like weird nuances that comes from different mediums, different shows or games, books, all that jazz. And say a best girl is that one girl that everyone's like, she's the one. Not
Mhm.
necessarily in a romantic sense, but in like the sense that like this is our Blorbo. She is wonderful. Look at
She's
her.
everything.
Yeah, she's our everything. And it's not always a romantic context. I want to make that abundantly clear.
There are different kinds of best girl.
Yes, I do think that is 100% true. You are correct.
And I think the best girl can be best subdivided into I want to marry her, I want to be her, that's my daughter.
Yes, that is very true because there are some characters that give off very big daughter energy.
Mhm.
Like, because you now know who I'm talking about. Like, when I was playing
I
Persona
do.
4, there's Nanako, who is best girl.
Nanako is I think the best girl daughter type by which all other best girls are measured.
Yeah, like, good standard, like, okay, this is what, like, best girl, this is my daughter looks like. She's cute, she's sweet, and you just want to like pick her up and tell her everything's going to be okay.
She is sunshine,
Yes.
and that is regardless of the situation she is in or the tone of the medium that she is in.
Sometimes that tone is very silly.
Yes.
We're going to watch her dance.
Hmm.
And it makes you happy.
But Nanako, I think, in the tradition of the best girl, makes you smile every time you see her in a scene. You go, there she is.
And I think what's very important about that statement, because that's a great point. It's like she's that ball of sunshine where you're just like, ah, yes. Because like we'll be the first to admit our tastes are very specific.
Hmm. Oh
Like
yeah.
I can just say from your current Discord avatar of the beloved Nishitani, who is not a best boy.
No, he's a worst boy.
He's in fact the worst, and I love him, but I also want to shove him into a dumpster where he belongs.
He's a creature.
Yeah, he's my perfect creature, and I love him. As you pet him like a cat.
but but see the best girl, and I feel like particularly with best girl daughter types, it is that you do not love them in spite of their flaws. You love them because like, oh my god, you sweet angel, you are too good for the world.
Yeah, like
Typically.
yes, typically. Like another great example is oh god, what's the name of the daughter in Nier? I'm blanking.
Oh, Yona.
Okay, I was right. It was Yona. I'm like, I was mistaking it for Yorhad. I'm like, that's not right. I know that's not right. Help me, God.
Same first letter, different name.
Same first two letters, and then it gets to very one's an organization, which cannot be a best girl,
No.
even though it's mostly made up of ladies of various qualities.
But then it gets more into concept territory, and we're not going there today.
We're not ready handle the best girl disambiguous that far.
No, but Yona, I would say is certainly a best girl.
And like it's specific of the daughter type as we're talking about to start off with, because she's a ray of sunshine, she makes you happier. It's like, ah, there she is. You know,
And another important distinction is that you have to be willing to kill for them.
yes, that is very
Like
important.
not under, well, under specific circumstance. No, any circumstance, you have to be willing to kill for them.
Like if something bad were to happen to Nanako, it's that one line from Brooklyn 99. If
Hmm.
anything were to happen to insert character here, I would kill
Yes,
everyone in this room and then myself, and that is entirely the thought process you need to have.
that is exactly it.
Like if something bad were to happen to Nanako, you need to John Wick this shit.
It's gonna get ugly.
Exactly. Like best girl, like wife type or whatever. Like you'll go to bat for and probably kill for, but like daughter type, it's like no, it only goes straight to kill. It just goes straight full escalation.
Yes. I'm also gonna say, maybe a slight spin on the best girl daughter. I want to say one of my long running best girl daughters, Asuka from Evangelion,
That is a
and
surprising pick from for you, and
she
I'm curious how this plays out. Keep going.
so okay. I know she defies a lot of the standard definitions that we've just listed. Yes, I am aware of this. But also consider, um, she has gone through so much. She is still just a baby going through all this shit. And I think, especially because like I loved that show when I was a teenager, and because you're around the same age as the kids in that at the time, and then you watch it as an adult and you go, oh my god, they're just babies.
No,
And
my favorite part about Evangelion, just as a quick tangent, was the time where I
mhm,
watched Death and Rebirth first at like 10 years old. Oh, I was incredibly confused.
Mhm.
No idea what was happening. Mistakes were made. But yeah, no, that's an interesting. That's definitely not a prototypical pick. I think that's a
Yeah,
very
no.
interesting pick, but I get it. Especially, I do think that also changes as you get older. Like, I would say, probably, if you asked us this question 10, 15 years ago when we were like teenagers or young 20 something, not as normal men as we are now.
Right.
God, we should have called this podcast just Normal Men. Totally missed out on a good opportunity to catch the zeitgeist. But we would have probably like I'm not sure if we would have said Asuka at 20 or definitely not 15. 15 would have been like she's my wife.
Or it's like, I think at that age I probably would have thought, wow, she's such a bitch, and not in a fun way. But
uh, but we're now in our 30s, so we're like, oh god, we're dads now.
yeah,
Dad
and
core.
it's just like I like and I think the reason like it Asuka stands out to me over like the rest of the main cast, there is that I don't know, it's the thing of like she has already been so harmed by life. And I want to protect her from everything else because, she already like has so much to deal with. So I don't know. I guess that's a little riff on that.
Well,
But
yeah. I mean, my argument would be one of them is Masato, who is wife territory.
hmm
Um,
yes, indeed.
Ray is a bit too blank slatey for it on purpose. This makes sense in the context of the show, obviously.
Right.
And unless you prescribe to certain fan theories, Shinji is a lad.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying you don't prescribe to those theories. It's just it's
Well,
whether or not
personally,
you don't.
everybody's open to interpretation.
Well, obviously, it's unless you see certain pictures of him and Diva next to each other. I've seen them.
True.
Those are like, wow, that changes things. Didn't think about it that way.
Yeah,
Blindsided by an interesting idea.
for sure.
But yeah, like I think the daughter type, like as you say, specifically, it's like I will protect this at all cost, and I will in fact do what Nier does and kill all of mankind if I have to.
And that's it.
Spoilers. Whoops.
Spoilers, something really tragic happens in a Yoko Taro game.
Shocking.
Shocker.
Surprise.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
Why did I wink? No one's gonna see it. You can't even see it.
Add in like a duck sound when you wink.
Yeah, it should just be like a ding. I'm not gonna do it. That bit won't make sense. But anyway, but yeah, like
But
that is like the element of what makes a best girl of the daughter variety.
and that is a very distinct group. As to opposed to say, and there's some who I think um cover a bit of ground to where it's like maybe it's a bit ambiguous, maybe they're a bit of both categories, maybe they're like neither, but it feels right. I think Power from Chainsaw Man is a good example of I want to be her, I want to marry her.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, I would say, like, some characters will absolutely cross barriers. Because, like the wanna be her group is like I would say someone like hmm Nene. Yeah, there it is.
Yes, yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that.
Like someone who's together, someone who's like I'm inspired to be like her. She's the best.
She brings out the best possibilities within you.
Yes. It's like someone who you'd be like I trust her with a small child.
Yes.
Or at least sometimes it depends on the situation, but someone I trust this person with thing X.
The okay, here's the thing, and I'm stealing this from somewhere else. I don't remember where. Best girl wife you would have 2 beers with. Best girl wanna be her, you would let watch a puppy. Your puppy for the weekend.
I'm not sure I would trust Power with that one.
You
No,
know,
not without ruining my house in the process.
I mean, the house isn't a factor. It's just the dog taken care of.
I don't know. I like my toilets not being clogged.
Well, if you love Power, that's just something you're gonna have to accept.
I know. But yeah, and then Best Girl Daughter is the one you watch and not drink because you have to take care of her. She's your
Because
daughter.
she's a baby.
Yeah, she's
And
a
you
baby.
give her the puppy because it makes her happy.
Exactly. That's why Nanako should have 3 puppies.
Yes.
Anyway, but yeah, I think really when it comes to a best girl, like wanna be, it's like it's someone who has like a personality trait. It's like, oh man, I wish I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Power, it's like have that unearned confidence for everything.
Oh, absolutely. And so unabashedly, like, proud of herself that, loudly proclaiming she's a genius. And I I want that for myself so badly.
and
I would love that.
and for those who don't know anything about Chainsaw Man, Power is incredibly stupid.
Oh, Power's an idiot.
Power is a level of stupid that you don't see too often in any character.
But especially not in female
Oh,
characters.
especially not female characters, but even like the only person of equal intelligence in this entire story will be her best bro Denji, who is
Mhm.
who is equally stupid.
There is
But
a single brain cell between them, and they are passing it back and forth.
no, they left that brain cell like with Aki like 5 chapters ago.
True. And
They
he's babysitting it.
yeah, he's babysitting the singular brain cell they had as he has 10. But like that's the point. That's what makes a best girl like
Best girl aspirational.
yes, I think aspirational is the right word. Like I aspire to have this aspect of this character in my own life. Like
And I want to throw out another aspirational best
oh,
girl.
go for it.
And this one might be a little odd. Going way back in the day, Stross, I know you did not watch the Shonen Big 3 and you were a better person for it.
Oh no,
But
that's 100% true, but I'm probably been better off for it in other ways.
um so there's this character from Naruto. Her name's Anko. Um
I do know who that is though.
I love her. I
I
love her so much.
I spent
I
way too much time on the internet in 2000 from 2000 to now to not know who
you
that is.
know. You know.
I if I didn't know who that was after all these years, I would have had to turn in some nerd cards.
I if I can just describe her outfit. Mesh shirt, no bra, skirt, like shortish skirt, big ass trench coat. And she is a fucking queen.
Today out and it's important.
I I remember reading the manga as like a youngster and just seeing her and just something in my brain's like, oh, that. And it's like it's not just that I'm attracted to women, but also like that is something I want for myself.
I want to be able to walk around without a bra and a mesh shirt and be the ultimate.
just tits out, eating candy.
Making everyone
I
think
love her.
I'm the hottest person in the room at all times.
But again, it's one of those things that it's like it's sometimes it's a subconscious thing, you
Yeah.
know.
No, I get it. Like, best girl aspirational can be a lot of female characters.
It's like I'm putting this on my dream board or my whatever you call it.
This is like
Your
Homer's,
vision board.
or yeah, or I was gonna say the aspirational board that like Homer Simpson uses for inventing things in that one
That
episode of The
thing.
Simpsons. Then he discovers that Thomas Edison had the same thing but with Da Vinci. Or as we like
Da
to call
Vinci?
yeah, there it is. I knew the moment I said it. I was like, it's coming. It's coming.
I'm sorry, it's reflexive.
It's a reflex now. I can't get rid of it.
Boros twins, please listen to our podcast.
They might. The only thing is, I don't know if they know what a podcast is. I cannot gauge their intelligence. Speaking of best boys,
Oh,
Boros
the
twins.
Boros twins, IRL best boys.
Yeah, IRL best
Please,
boys.
please don't do anything fucked up, I swear to God.
Or if you're gonna do something fucked up, make it funny.
Yeah.
Like I always sort of say, if I'm gonna like ruin my entire career, I want it to be over something like absurd sounding. Like,
Yes.
for me, it's like I want to be caught smuggling gold from like Argentina,
Yeah.
like something that
It's like
everyone
the
just
Boros
goes,
twins are cannibals?
no, not like that, not but like inoffensive and not like absolutely terrifying when you think about it. More like, oh
Fair
my
enough.
god, they're smuggling moon rocks. You know,
They smuggled a moon rock so they could throw it at each other.
yeah, it's like something like that. But anyway, that's the little insight into my personality. I think we get into what's the most controversial aspect of this because I feel like best girl daughter types are usually pretty uncontroversial picks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no one's gonna play Persona 4 and not say Nanako as best girl unless they hate small children.
And then that's just, like, mean.
Yeah. It's like, it's not even about a question of whether or not it's your favorite character. It's like, no, this small child is adorable and precious. She must be protected at all costs. Aspirational can be very person specific. Because, like, what do you find aspirational?
It's a very individualized, but best girl wife is contentious.
Yeah, because like this is where personal taste comes in, and we have been on the internet long enough to see many a long think pieces on like old message boards and old websites of people arguing about this for the past, I don't know, 20 years,
And
23
Stross, I
years.
feel like it's worth mentioning or asking. So when somebody says that so and so is best girl, and that's not your best girl, how does that make you feel
Well,
personally?
as I was thinking about this earlier, I have a very weird detached case towards fandom. As you know, because when you get me going on something, it means I really have lots of opinions. Like I'll have opinions on a lot of things, but when you get me going, it's different.
Oh yeah,
So like,
there's depths there.
yeah, there are steps there, but it's like I think for me it depends on who they pick.
Hmm.
Because it's like, okay, I can see why you would say that type of picks, like using something we both definitely know. Like if someone said Ida's my best girl from Samurai Warriors, I'm like, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah.
If someone picks Aya, I'm like, okay, you have tastes. Not bad tastes, just tastes. I like Aya, but
I would not say she's a best girl.
no, she's not. She's what we call the worst.
No, and
Affectionately.
oh yes, she's also she's scary.
Yeah, she's
And I I think the other distinction that makes this category so divisive is that there is the unspoken implication that whoever your best girl is, all the other girls are inferior, they have lost the race, and we are pitting perfectly good women against each other.
yes. And like I think a great way to put this is going back to Persona for a bit. Is the Persona 4 girls crew, like they're all good girls. All of them.
Yeah.
But your favorite is like specific. And that's important.
And I think when it comes to matters of taste, oftentimes people get very protective over their choices, and I think it can come off as kind of an insult, which I also think it's not that deep, but
Well, no, I think as you point out, it's a key point of taste. Like,
Mhm.
for example, if now obviously it also depends on who is saying it. Like if
Yes.
you say to me that your best girl is someone I don't necessarily agree with, I'd be like, well, that's Sardo's choice, and I respect his decision.
You say that a lot.
Yeah. I look at Nishitani every time, and it's like, well, there he goes again. But, like, that's, like, we're friends. We've known each other for almost a decade to age ourselves.
And like you're, because we're friends and because we know each other that way, you're allowed to kind of dunk on me a little bit.
Yeah, like, I'm allowed to say, like, that's cringe taste right there, Sardo. But because in the end, you could return that favor at any minute. That's a free dunk card.
I could, and it's a playful dunk.
Yeah. It's like, Nishitani, you sure about that? He smells
Oh,
like
I'm
piss
sure.
and yes. That's part of the reason why I don't dunk on it too often. It's like it's too late now.
I'm immune.
Yeah. I've bathed in the piss and vinegar and I'm with him on it.
But I think that's it's dicey.
Yeah.
It's I don't get into the best girl arguments a lot because I don't like to argue because I'm bad at it.
Well, also, like, in my case, like, I saw so many terrible, dumb, horrid arguments from the early 2000s that I'm like, nope. I ain't gonna, you could do this without me.
Explain.
Well,
Explain.
back, you will remember this because we'll talk more about this concept in full. But, I've been on the internet for a very long time. I remember the old days when Flash was king and Homestar Runner was the only truly good website.
Still is.
Still is. Still around. God bless those brothers, chaps. But you would remember back in the day, you'd be on like wherever, like DeviantArt or whatever website or some forum board because there was like thousands of them, and you would see arguments of like on like shipping stuff.
I remember.
I know you remember because you're my age and you've also been on the internet for way too long. So you know about like how bad these arguments were and how equally stupid they could get and
Absolutely
toxic.
terrible.
Yeah. So it's like it's the same principle. Like if there's a best girl argument and it like the people involved are actually like taking it seriously, and I don't mean like seriously in the toxic way. I mean, like, actually having a discussion that isn't toxic. Very rare, as we know.
Yes.
I would say, like, I'd listen to it. But if it's, like, anything from my childhood, which a lot of it is, I'd be like, nay, I am leaving. And I'm taking my scrungly bingus with me. I'm also the person who had a tendency to pick the least popular girl character as my favorite.
Okay. But that's the thing though, and I think that's part of it, is that I think especially in popular fandoms, and I saw this a lot, being a young Naruto fan in the early aughts. Dear God.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, dear God, and it's like I never really cared much for the main cast. I shipped the sun in together, mostly. That was my thing. Like, I shipped all of them together.
I was maybe one of the 5 10-10 supporters I could think of.
Oh, good taste.
Yeah.
I like her.
I mean, not that she was the only one, but it was like, I remember when you were relevant for 5 minutes. Those were good days.
I was a Kabuto fan. I was in the trenches. Nobody liked him.
Yeah, it's like...
And nobody should.
Like, for example, like for Final Fantasy VII, I was in the Yuffie group, which means there was like 10 people. We all loved this stupid idiot ninja girl. I'm very telling on myself, aren't I? You're like, you're like, I bet you're sitting there. It's like, oh, this makes a lot of sense, actually.
You did not get the second syllable of that name out, and I was smiling knowingly. It's like, of course.
Like the music's playing in the back of your head. They're like, wow, Stross, you really have been the same person in terms of taste for 30 years.
You know what? I think that's sensible. You find what you like and you stick with it.
I have stuck with it for a very long time.
That's commitment. That's devotion.
Yeah, but it's just like I would say Final Fantasy VII is a great example of like breaking it down to its elements here because it has three girls,
Hmm.
technically four, but of its main girls, there's the hot one, the pretty one, and then the one that takes your stuff.
Yes.
And I'm the one who's like, no, this trash panda of a girl, she's mine.
You chose well.
Yeah, I chose the one everyone is starting to finally appreciate. Get on my
Because
level, internet.
I think that you know, when there's a lot of media for somebody to consume of something, when something is like the it pairing or one of the it pairings or the it character, people get kind of spoiled for it. And their appetites grow ravenous, and then they begin to devour each other.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
Well, yeah, but it's just like best girl wife edition. Like, because best girl, like, daughter edition, like, that's usually unambiguous. Because usually that
Yeah.
character is young or super innocent. Usually young.
People can generally agree that this character deserves to be protected and happy.
Yeah. Like, those characters are usually pretty obvious. Like, you don't. No one. That one is always the uncontroversial take. No one
And
goes, man, don't like that small child.
yeah, that small defenseless child who's like, unfailingly happy, just gotta find fault with them.
Yeah.
Though I don't know. I think that there is definitely such a thing as like people buying too hard into something because their choice is one of the popular
Oh,
choices.
absolutely. I mean, just think about like shipping back in the 2000s and how like intense that was for the people who were the most popular pairing in whatever fandom. You could take your pick here. You know which ones I'm talking about. We'll talk about them in depth one day. That that's going to be a terrifying conversation of us bitching.
I remember it, Stross. I remember it all.
The dark days are not truly gone, but because we were there to remember.
Okay, you want to talk a fucking best girl here?
Oh yeah.
While I'm on the subject of Naruto, you know what? Maybe she's not like my best girl personal choice, but Sakura did not deserve the shit she got.
Oh no, hell no. And like
People were
obvious.
mean as fuck to
Well,
her.
yeah, because I was just thinking about this before even the podcast started because I think about things forever and they never leave my head. Remember, my memory is long and dark.
It is.
I will remember things you said like 10 years ago and you'll be like,
That is terrifying. Please don't tell me that.
I was a
Forget
bad.
those things post haste.
I'm sorry, Sardo, but I will remember the things you say forever.
I am so sorry for you.
It's okay. It's a blessing and a curse. Because sometimes you remember the funny shit. The truly funny shit. But like, I remember there's like this old like it's now an old Tumblr post. It was like I will like justice for all the girls who were in the way of a male ship.
Yes,
And there was a
exactly.
lot of that. That's not what we're talking about, but it's just like it's that feeling of like there were so many good girls who were just endlessly ripped upon back in our youth.
Well, early aughts shipping culture was,
It
um,
it, it it's still toxic, but it's toxic in I think a slightly better way than it used to be.
I will say, it's it's different for sure. It's
Yeah.
it's a whole different tone. And like if I was a teenager now, I don't think I could survive it. But I also don't think that a lot of folks now who are deep in it could have survived it back then either, because it was a whole different environment.
Oh yeah. The toxicity back then was very different than what it is now. Not saying that shipping culture isn't toxic anymore because it still is, but it's different. It's in a very different fashion. I
They-
I would say it's an improvement only because of how bad it really was back then.
The misogyny was open and it was visceral.
And it was from everyone.
Teenage girls most of all.
Yeah,
I
those
would say.
teenage girls grew up to be women
Uh
and
and
sometimes
trans men.
I was about to say and men. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you.
Former teenage girl speaking.
As a former teenage girl, I want to tell you all, go to hell.
I'm gonna put that on a business card. Sardo, former teenage girl.
Please do and send me a picture. We should make business cards, but really stupid ones.
I agree.
But yeah, no, like the whole point is, it's just like, because like best girl, like we said, like when it came to like best girl discussions back when we were young, it was rare because usually there would be somebody who would be like start the incredibly toxic streak on a
Mm-hmm.
character, which was like a very big feature of 2000s era fandom to about 2013, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it kind of reached its end in 2013.
That's when a lot of the fandom people were suddenly in their 20s and started realizing their behavior was bad.
It's like, oh fuck, I have jobs now.
I have a job, or I'm in college, and
And it's
I'm starting to like read things and realize, wow, I'm being an incredibly toxic idiot.
and I mean, I think a lot of it's real easy to unstick yourself from the toxic fandom shit when you actually have an adult life.
Yeah, like that's not to say that there aren't people aren't still toxic.
Oh no.
It's just that I think a lot of the people who were there back then who are no longer toxic now about these types of discussions, of these fandom discussions, is that a lot of them grew up. Like
Exactly.
it's a lot harder to be super intense about fictional characters when you're like, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, you suddenly have a lot less energy to be a hater.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can't still be part of Hater Nation.
Oh, of
Some,
course.
because like Hater Nation's forever.
Oh yeah. But god damn, it does become a little more taxing.
Yeah, and also you start realizing like, wow, I had a lot of like shit I didn't unpack back then.
But you can unpack it now,
Yeah,
and that's the important thing.
and because like nowadays it's like I think when we have these discussions, people are like more willing to like even like categorize things. Like nowadays, when like say like I'm playing Wrath of the Righteous on my stream, and we're like, Ember's best girl, but she's the daughter type.
Mm-hmm.
She's my child, and I want her to be protected at all costs, despite the fact that she can cast lightning from the skies.
Like, yes, she can protect herself, but she's also baby.
Yeah, she's very baby, and we love her because she's
Yes.
unambiguously the kindest person here.
Agreed.
Only she would pray for demons.
Yes. Um, in the same vein, a subject we both know about, from Soul Calibur, Amy. Amy is
Yes,
baby. Amy is
very.
daughter.
Yeah, you
A- Amy
especially.
could Amy could kill somebody if she wanted to, but Amy is baby.
Yeah, and in the same vein, best girl wife, and I think you're going to agree with me, is Cassandra.
Wholeheartedly.
Best,
Wholeheartedly.
by the way, best girl aspirational from that is Ivy. We all like a woman who's willing to walk out of her house
You
looking
and
like
I
that.
are
Like that's a
you and I are of
confidence.
the same mind.
It's like that's a confidence that I wish I could have.
I actually have a very funny story about Ivy, and
Go, you know what? Go for it. I want to hear it.
this is fucking mortifying telling it now.
I don't
But
care.
I was, I think, 12 years old, and I I was, I had internet access, and I was like on the Soul Calibur forums a lot because I was obsessed with the game, and I
Right.
liked talking to other people about it. And I always saw people calling Ivy a dominatrix because she was. I didn't know what the hell that was. I just thought it was, well, that's, must be a lady like that who's cool and dresses like that. And so one time I'm playing the game with my dad, and I point to Ivy and I go, "She's a dominatrix." And my dad's like, "Where the fuck did you learn that?"
Oh, your dad. I can tell what your dad's thought process was. It went something like this. How do you know that word? You're right, but how? It's like, it wasn't from me. Was it from your brothers? I don't know if you're.
Nope. Learn that one all on my own.
It's like, I learned it on my own, Dad.
And it is I I I don't know. I don't know how, like,
I'm putting a Soul Calibur episode up for us. I'm gonna do that right now.
we've got to. We have to.
Yeah,
But
we both
that
like
is
it
my
enough.
Ivy story.
Yeah, that is absolutely hilarious. And also very predicated to what, like, the 2000. This is a thing that I don't think the youngins understand. The youngins related to the funyuns is that, like, back when we were kids, you didn't just like know this shit because the internet wasn't as omnipresent yet in your
Or
life.
no.
So it's like you
You
couldn't.
you had,
There wasn't like, oh, I heard a thing. What is that?
you had to work a little to get your
Yeah,
forbidden knowledge.
absolutely. And it's
Like,
just there was
we
a
we had
go for it.
sorry. We had to rifle through the ancient spell tomes a little bit more.
Yeah, we didn't have the access to the Library of Alexandria that is the internet to tell us what a thing is.
And in a way, I think that's both better and worse. That it's
Yes,
socially.
there was an advantage to it, and there's also a massive disadvantage. It was weird because you could stumble upon some very weird shit back in the day very easily.
Oh, those were strange times.
Strange times. We'll talk about it at some point, but like at least with like because like Ivy is aspirational in the sense that like you gotta appreciate a woman who has the confidence to basically dress in an outfit where if she moves a little bit too much, that titty is falling out, and
Mm-hmm.
not in a comfortable way. Well, depending on the outfit and
And
which era
I
of Ivy's tit size we're talking about.
I also like that her alternate costumes were usually the total flip a coin. I loved her George Washington look.
Oh, wasn't that was that that was
That was two.
okay? I wasn't sure it was two or three.
It was two.
Yeah, it was probably two because I played the ones I played the most were two and three because, duh. Because like, and you know, like speaking on Soul Calibur has a great example of like what a best girl is. Like Amy, best girl daughter. Cassandra,
Hmm.
actual best girl, no questions asked. Worst girl, positive, was Tira. Your problematic fave.
I do love Tira. I love Mia. I love Mia. Crazy gal.
I'll be a crazy gal who decided to paint herself 500 different colors. All
I
of them.
love a weird murderous clown girl.
Yeah, I mean, it explains the popularity of Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
It just,
Listen,
yeah, I'm listening.
society has finally accepted that clowns are sexy.
Yeah, or at least Japan did.
Oh yeah.
But like, I though Tira's best outfit was like her one in four, her second player outfit in four with the pigtails that were not even at all.
Oh yeah.
Like that was her best look. She's had some looks over the years, but that's the one that's like number whichever one was the one with like the mismatched ponytail, like pigtails. Like
I gotta say,
that's a girl who was like in a music video singing about how she lost it.
yes. And like as as a young feminine presenting person around that time, when that came out, that reached into the model magic of my brain and warped me in very specific ways.
I can tell because Tira was one of my favorites, but like Now that I'm older, it's like, you know what? Cassandra's the girl you go home with.
Yeah, Cassie'd be a good wife.
Yeah. Not to say that her older sister is not a good wife, but it's just like she's a bit too perfect. I need someone who's at least gonna fuck up a couple of times. I don't want to look bad. You know?
Yeah.
Sophia is just like a little too perfect.
Yeah, she's just a bit too much that it's like she's gonna snap one of these days.
Like if she doesn't snap, something bad's gonna happen. And well, in fairness, considering how canon went.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like Sandra, there's a right perfect fuck up. Like she'll screw up, she'll be like, zag nuts.
And it's endearing.
Exactly. Though I will say, at the corner store they actually sell zag nuts. I'm like, zag nuts. I'm not sure if you remember which Homestar Runner bit I'm quoting, but I'm definitely quoting Homestar
I do
Runner.
remember. I do
Excellent.
remember.
Also, things we are definitely going to have to talk about at some point.
What do you take me for, an amateur?
I don't know, maybe your memory's not super great on every Halloween special, especially one with multiple choices.
Yeah, but this is Homestar Runner.
This is true. Point is, like a best girl to me, I think the thing is, a best girl wife type is just like, what is your taste? What is your taste in the woman's? Your woms.
And I find as I get older and as the depths of my taste become more rich and mature in their palate, um, I like a loser. I like an older lady who's a bit of a loser. Misato. The Shinji
Himeno.
shit was really weird. Don't fucking do that. But
Yeah.
otherwise,
Let's see, Masato, Himeno, who are basically the same character.
yep, yep. It's like I like that archetype. Stay the fuck away from teenage boys.
That stop being a weird temptress.
It's like that's really, yeah, no, don't do
Yeah.
that. But
Stop that.
otherwise, you're 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Let's see. And then also, here's a fun question for you on this best girl discussion. El Sartorino, master of the four winds.
See?
What do you do about a series like Black Lagoon, where everyone's
Ooh.
terrible, but on
Ooh.
purpose? Because I was having this
Ooh.
discussion because a friend of mine, Lindsay of ANN fame,
Hmm.
yes, I do know the head editor of ANN, asked us like, "What's your favorite dirtbag character that's hot?"
Oh man.
And I thought of you of this one because you would have said Nishitani immediately. Like hands up, like Nishitani. Next question.
I'm I am the prince of dirtbags.
You are, but like there's some good ones. I'm gonna try to remember some of them. Uh, like see, I'm gonna scroll up. I'm gonna name some of them, but it's just like, then came the discussion of like what counts as a dirtbag. You
I
know,
mean,
like
would you would you count Lupin from Lupin the Third as a dirtbag? I would.
I
I think
would.
he's a great
Well,
dirtbag.
because I feel like a friend of mine summed it up very well when they said a dirtbag is someone who would when asked by a minor to buy alcohol would totally do it.
Yes.
And like dirtbag is not the same as like a trash fire. Like Masato's a trash fire.
Yes.
Himeno's a trash fire.
Dirtbag has their shit together. A dirtbag is a functional trash fire.
Yes. One of the ones I picked was members of the cast from Akudama Drive, who are mostly criminals, so being a dirtbag
Mm.
is very easy. But hoodlums specifically, if you know who that is, you know.
Mm.
Oh yeah, someone picked Jin from Bleach.
Eh,
I know,
yeah.
a bit of a stretch, but it's like the discussion was very specific.
I think there are dirtbaggier, but I think he counts.
Yeah. Let's see, who else do we have? I
mean,
definitely I definitely picked basically most of the female cast from Black Lagoon, and then I'm like, actually, I should probably extend that to everybody else.
now I want to say though, we talk about how they're all dirtbags. Roberta, best girl,
Oh no,
best damn girl.
oh no, because you forget there's Sawyer too, who skirts into daughter
Yeah,
type too.
I'd say they're neck and neck.
And then of course, then there's Revy, who is best girl in her own horrible way. See, that's the problem. Best girl in Black Lagoon is tough because everyone here is terrible in some fashion.
But I think that makes it interesting. That gives it flavor.
Yeah, exactly. It's flavor. Of course, speaking of dirtbags, I'm just gonna post an image, and you're gonna be like, "Yeah, yeah, I know he's a dirtbag."
All right, show me a dirt bag. That's a dirt bag.
Yeah, it's definitely a dirtbag.
Oh, I love him.
I do. Speaking of best girls, Fu from Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo just generally like tip to toe, top notch characters.
Top notch
Great show.
characters. Best dirtbag. Best put together man who's also kind of a bit of a dick. Looking to you, Jin. And then Fu.
Fu. Fu is wonderful.
Though she crosses into daughter type.
Yeah,
Because of
I'd say
reasons.
so.
But yeah,
Like,
it's
like daughter,
you know, go on.
daughter who you like don't trust with the keys of the car just yet.
Definitely. Definitely a daughter who it's like, you're not allowed to drive by yourself yet. You can drive, but only if I'm there, like, sitting next to you.
Yes.
But, like, I think that's kind of the point. Best girl is also dependent on, like, what property you're in. And sometimes it's a lot easier if there's less women involved.
Yeah.
Because, like, you'll get some series or games where there's, like, the cast is, like, 80% men. Like, being best girl in a Yakuza game is almost always going to Haruka by default.
Of course, because she's baby.
She is, first things first, she is baby, and sometimes that's quite literal.
She's our baby.
Yeah. But it's also like, other times it's because your other options for women are, like, basically none.
Poorly written, dead.
Dead, poorly written, never show up again.
Really good potential, but made some really gross and kind of like offensive like portrayals of their disability.
Or Seiko, who isn't any of those things, but only has appeared in one
Seiko.
game.
Oh, good. Best girl by a long shot in 7.
Yeah.
I want to say so badly that like, yeah, I was like vaguely talking about Makoto, but I love her so much. I love her. She's so good, but my God, like, writers do better.
Yeah, it's just like, which game's Makoto in again?
0.
Right, yes. Yeah, that one. I'm like, I'm trying to... There's a lot of Yakuza characters, people. You sometimes forget who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like the thing is, being best girl sometimes is very easy for a series, and sometimes it's very hard. Like, Haruka wins by default.
Of course.
Like, not just because she's the most consistent female character in the series of mostly old middle-aged men who smoke too much. But it's sort of like, when your pick is like, I'm trying to think of a good example, like, some series only have like 5 women who matter, if 5 at all.
Yeah.
Like,
The Yakuza series, not known for its sparkling portrayal of women.
Not even because they're necessarily terrible. It's like I can only think of like 6. If I'm not counting like side story, like sub story characters to show up maybe 1 or 2 times at best.
Oh, okay. I will say, additionally, Yuki also is one of the best girls. Not the best girl, because that's Haruka, but
and she's earned it.
One of the best girls.
Yes, true.
Because she's so mean to Majima.
Oh god, when they appear back up in Kiwami 2, and it's just like, where the fuck have you been? We were worried about you, you son of a bitch.
It's
And
like, wow, you've aged. It's like, yeah, you have too, you ugly sack of shit.
and he's just like, walk into that one. He's like, oh come on. It's
You're
like,
best friends.
yeah, it's just like, man. He's like, God, I really walked into that. But yeah, it's like being best girl in some series. It's like super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially if it's like a team story, and like being the best girl in the Fantastic Four comic isn't hard. It's gonna be Sue.
I was gonna say it was gonna be Ben.
Ben Grimm is not best girl. He's
Ben
best
Grimm is
every.
best girl.
No, he's best everything. We have to have
You know
different
what? You're
reward.
right.
We have to do some. We have to have some categories because you can't win all of them. It'd be
You
unfair
son of a bitch, you're right.
because it's clobbering time. We're gonna
It
clobber
is.
expectations. But yeah, it's like I'm thinking about like best girl in other things. So let's while we round this out, let's talk about some of our favorite best girls. So I'm gonna name
Ooh.
some like properties, and
Mm-hmm.
we're just gonna say who we think best girl is. We're gonna put our chips down on the table because we know in the end these spicy chips that I got were not very good, and I haven't really touched them since. So I'm willing to put them back down on my desk.
Well, let's
That's
lay down
me.
some spicy chips of our own.
All right. So number one, we did Naruto. We said Tenten and Anko because we are maybe the kings of unpopular faves. So I've already said Yuffie. Who is your best girl in Final Fantasy VII, Sardo?
Oh goddamn.
By the way, this is also my litmus test on deciding what is your preferred type of lady.
Oh, that is tough. Um, I'm gonna be basic bitch and say Tifa.
That's not a bad choice.
She's a hottie. They're all hotties.
Well, yeah. Well, Aerith is pretty. Tifa is the sexy one, and Yuffie's the cute one.
I love a girl who can crush my windpipe.
I do too. And I've become more and more of an all three of them enjoyer, but Yuffie is the one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because 10-year-old Stross would be mad at me if I didn't. As he stayed up way too late, thinking about things way too hard.
You gotta stay loyal.
Yeah, loyalty. It's an admirable trait at times. Okay, let's move on to everyone's favorite. We've already covered Soul Calibur. We've already picked Cassandra because younger sister is in fact the best sister. No arguments here. But if you didn't have to
Yes.
pick Cassandra, who would it be?
Well, oh damn, that's tough. Um, Ivy. Yeah, it's
Ooh,
gotta be Ivy.
because I was going to pick Sung Mina.
Songmina's good. I don't know.
Queen of also wearing an outfit that's just like your boob might slip out.
I just I like purple. I like big boobs.
I like a woman who would also crush my windpipe.
Yeah, there's the running theme there.
All right. Bleach.
Bleach. Oh, um, Rangiku.
Yeah, interesting choice. I never really read Bleach, so I'm just gonna pick Rukia and be a basic bitch.
Nothing wrong with that. She's a good choice.
Yeah, no. All right.
Rangiku's a dumpster fire woman too, so.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's a dumpster fire in Bleach. What are you talking about? The land of dumpster fires.
What's because the writing's a dumpster fire?
That's true. Let's see here. What else do we wish to pick? What would be fun? Samurai Warriors. Who's your best girl?
Oh, no, Hime. No question.
Fair enough. I will not argue that because you know how much I care about her too. If you haven't figured out, you know it's Kai for me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Straw stays loyal. Probably too
That's your
loyal.
wife.
That's not wrong. Let her be happy.
I like a mean goth bitch.
You do love a mean goth bitch, and I respect that.
I do.
All right, we have to go to the sister series of Dynasty Warriors real quick. Who it is it?
Oh,
We've
Uh,
now increased our amount of women.
fuck. Um, Chunhua.
Ooh. You know what? Good choice. Good choice. I'm picking Sai Wen-ji, actually.
Really?
Well, okay, because, like, uh, because for me, it's between three. You know which three I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's either Wang Yi, Lu Lingqi, or Sai Wenji. And I realize, like, Sai Wenji is just, like, the nicest person who shouldn't be here but is anyways.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Didn't deserve this.
Lu Lingqi, I love deeply. She is my girl, but she also kind of crosses over into that daughter type area.
She's also a little bit baby.
She's a little bit baby, and that's part of the love for her. But Sai Wenji, like, that's a woman.
Yes, it is. Oh, she's beautiful.
She's
I
beautiful.
love.
She's a sweetheart. She'll write you poetry and then sing it to you. She'll kill
And
people
I
with a
really
harp if she has to.
and I like how like elegant and classy her design was in 9.
Oh yeah, and she's classy. Wang Yi is like I not an aspirational territory because I'm not sure if I want some of that revenge obsessed.
She's like dumpster fire, but like nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're a dumpster fire, but you're my kind of dumpster fire.
Yeah. And it's like also you can understand why she's a dumpster fire.
Exactly. All right. Persona 4 since you now know who the girl's there. That's not Nanako. You're not allowed to pick Nanako.
No, no, no. Rise.
That's a good pick right there.
Rise.
That's a good pick right there. Excellent
And
pick.
we already know your answer.
Yeah, if I wasn't a Naruto enjoyer by obviously giving myself away several times, you know now. Oh, I have a good one. I know who
Hmm.
your King of Fire's best girl is.
Oh.
Her name starts with an S, and she crushes your windpipe underneath her massive can.
Ah, sure me, my beloved.
I would let you sacrifice me to your dark god.
Yeah.
I am
I also
under heritage contractual obligation to say "and hell," no matter how true or not true that statement is.
hey, you know what? Good choice though.
Speaking of girls who could crush your windpipe,
She's good.
I mean, in fairness, that's technically all of them, but
She's what strong bad call it a severe hottie.
yeah, the severe part is the part where she beats the shit out of you first and then insults you,
Yes.
and then meows at you like a weirdo.
But I also like Shermie's bangs because like you don't see that too often in character design. I don't know. I think that's cool.
I think it's kind of interesting that everyone agrees that's like a good design, like the bangs over the eyes for a lady, and you don't see them too often.
You don't.
I find that very. I think it's probably because it's just like eyes are such a huge part of the expression of a character,
Yeah.
which is like totally understandable from a character design standpoint.
But it's kind of charming the way they execute it with her.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's also because they made sure to give her like really like nice full lips to like compensate,
yes.
and also because it's a fighting game, you don't really see the eyes too often.
Yeah, I think so. It balances out.
Yeah. So you get a lot of that personality from the way she beats the shit out of people. All
Yeah.
right. Speaking of which, Street Fighter, best girl, go.
Jury, no question.
Interesting. Mine's Sakura. I'm still mad at Capcom for probably making my main and best girl DLC 2 games in a row now.
Oh, fucking bummer.
Stop doing that to me. Stop it. I don't care if she wants to become a mom. She can still beat the shit out of people.
Moms can beat the shit out of people too. Moms deserve to beat the shit out of more people.
Probably. All right. We gotta move on. We gotta rush through.
I want to throw one on the table here.
Absolutely go.
If this is something you watched, Madoka.
Oh. Ooh. Hmm. Hmm. I did. So I have to actually think about this. Oh, this one's hard. I feel like that's all of them, but for the very same reason of you deserved better than this.
Yeah, I guess it's down to just like which one did you like the most?
Which one do you feel like got the shortest end of the stick, mommy? You poor thing. You deserve to live.
I feel so bad for her. I love mommy. Kyoko was my favorite.
Also a good pick. I guess the best way to put it is all the Madoka girls like you all deserved way better than the hand you were dealt.
I feel like that's the general premise of the
I
story.
mean, yes, it's true, but still. I'm not gonna do Chainsaw Man because the answer to that is actually Asa.
Yes. Agreed.
Like, I love me a losery girl trying to find love. My favorite part about the recent chapters, it's just like, God, you two should just date already.
Right?
You two should
Like,
be dating. You would actually be good for each other, shockingly enough.
pull that bad bitch by being autistic.
The answer is, which ones are we talking about? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Let's see, what else? What else would be a good one? I can't. I'm not gonna do Spy Family because there's really only like 3, 4 women in that entire manga. Mostly because the cast is just really small.
And we know the answer
Like
already,
the
Stross.
like the answer for daughter variant is obviously Anya. That is a very easy answer. Goodest boy is Bond.
Yes.
Goodest boy is reserved for pets who are boys.
Mm-hmm.
But like best girl wife wise is super very obviously Yor, and I feel like that's just cheating.
Like, no shit.
Like, who else are you gonna pick? Tim from accounting? There's only like 3 other women in this, and one of them is Nightfall, and she's fucking obsessed with Lloyd, and it's hilarious. It is really funny.
That is.
One of the best tennis arcs in anything I've ever watched. Oh, here's a good question. Did you watch School Rumble when you were younger?
Oh shit.
Because that's a
It
good
was
one.
a long time
Yeah,
ago.
it's been a long time for me too, and I only like continuously remind myself of it because I have like the box set on my shelf for the first season. It comes in a locker.
Oh man. Yeah, I have not
Yeah, things you,
watched that in a long
thing
time.
you probably haven't thought about in 10 years.
Probably not.
Okay, fair enough. The answer is all of them. There.
Good to know. Good to know.
I don't know. I haven't watched it in a long time either. I just always remember the
So,
basketball episode because it has one of the best jokes in the entire series. Where it's like, oh no, it's a basketball gang, and they're all dunking on like black silhouette on a red background, and then Tenma falls over, and they're like, oh shit, are you? Okay? They're like, oh no, are you okay? It's like, oh, they're good kids. Never mind, and then they start setting up for dinner.
oh,
It's like but it's still it's still the black silhouettes and the red background the entire time. Because it's like right after they were all
also,
like seriously jamming the ball through the basket. It's great. That has lived rent free in my head for like 10 years. Oh,
also,
go
oh,
for
go
it.
ahead.
You first. You first.
Also in miscellaneous things, from the one time I watched the entirety of Lucky Star, stoned to the gills after I got my wisdom teeth out. Little pink-haired bitch from Lucky Star, with the
I
glasses.
I couldn't watch more than one episode. That show wasn't good.
I was not coherent.
That's fair. I have one.
Yes.
Full Metal Alchemist. Because I know you've seen it. I know we've seen it.
Lust.
Ooh, interesting pick.
Love her. Love
Yeah,
her.
I'm starting to see a pattern here, everyone. Can
I like
you?
what I like.
Oh, I'm not even meaning it as a bad thing. I just think it's funny. It's like, wow, we are very predictable bitches, aren't we?
It's a matter of taste, and we've got taste.
Damn straight we do. But yeah, I would probably pick. I guess I'd pick Riza. I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, That one is where like I don't. If you pick someone, you're picking a good one. There is Olivier as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just
He's a
like
runner-up.
that might be aspirational too, though. Because
Yeah.
I feel like with the aspirational ones, it's less about like loving them and more like loving them as like a personality.
Yes.
Ooh, here's a fun one from our
Uh,
youths: Avatar: The Last Airbender.
ah. Um.
Going back to when you were
Fucking. Why can't I remember her name? Zuko's girlfriend.
Mai.
Yeah.
Today in Sardo likes goths and I like weirdo tomboys and sometimes complete airhead idiots. I'll take Ty Lee, thank you.
Good choice.
I like a girl who's just like, you know what, she sees what she wants and she's like, I'll take it. And then probably has a very homosexual experience in prison.
Hell yeah.
It's like, we became best friends while we were all locked up together. I'm like, now that I'm older, I'm like, huh.
Oh my god, they were best friends.
This is, and they were roommates moment. Uh, ooh, here's one. Fire Emblem Fates, where I know who you're picking, but I just want you to say her name.
God damn you.
I
Camilla.
I want to be stepped on by that 6'1" lady with the giant tits, the long hair, and deeply mentally unwell.
You know that like purple-haired big titty bitch is in like my constant book of riffs.
It's like it's just like it's like the forbidden riff at Guitar Center. You know it's gonna come up, and you have to stop it before someone mentions it, or else it's gonna come all out.
Is fucking there. What about you?
I've always been a Charlotte enjoyer because
Ooh, good one.
I like me a woman who is in fact swears like a sailor.
Yes.
I also am a Baruka enjoyer for other reasons. I'll explain to you once we're done because you're gonna like this one. I
She struck me as your type.
Yeah, I like me a tiny assassin who's just very much willing to kill.
Okay.
All right,
Here's one. I've
all right.
got one. You played Drakengard 3.
Yeah, I think it's probably zero.
Good choice.
Just
Um,
once again, love. But you want to know why though?
why?
She's the closest thing Yoko Taro has been capturing the magic of Kaine since Kaine.
This is very correct.
Like of Yoko Taro's women, Kaine is his best woman he's ever written.
Kaine is supreme.
Kaine is in fact peak female performance.
And I'm not even gonna say you might not look like it, but fuck you, you will like it.
You will like this woman who absolutely is always on, angry all the time, swears more than anyone else. Like,
Absolute rip shit last.
yeah. And like the important thing about her is that if you played the original, you would understand how very like introductory the intro to the when you boot up the game was. Like the one worst thing about the remake was they got rid of turning on the game and nothing happens until you hear Kaine bitching at Vice at full volume and you're not ready for it the first time.
We love a woman screaming at a book.
And just insulting this book who does talk back if you haven't played it. Don't worry.
Yes. He's a
It
very
may
sassy book,
yeah,
actually.
an equally sassy book. Understand them trading barbs is their love language.
It is. Voiced by Liam O'Brien.
And Laura Bailey respectively of Vice
Yeah.
and Kaine. God, I was so ready to be so mad if they didn't come back.
Oh yeah.
Especially Liam O'Brien because that game would not be the same with anyone else.
Oh no.
That is a game that if you did not have Liam O'Brien back, like I could like live without Laura Bailey. I would not like it and I'd be angry.
Right.
But if you did not have Liam O'Brien, I would have rioted.
But Liam O'Brien's flawless in the role, and Vice's best book. That is a role specifically for him.
It is a very weirdly specific title, and yes, he's earned it. You hussy.
And I guess going back to Drakengard 3,
Yeah.
I have conflicting feelings because my first pick, my initial pick is 3.
Mm-hmm.
I like her. She's purple.
This is true.
And she's also just really weird and creepy. 4 is my daughter. Nobody likes 4. She's my baby.
I have to double check which one's which because these characters are just numbered. I'm like, oh god, who
She
again?
was the little green bitch with the pigtails.
Oh wait, then no, I know only one person who likes 5.
I 5 5 is 5.
5 is dumb.
5 is
no, we should say it dumb. This is positive statement, by the way. Oh yeah. Oh man, I forgot who 5's was voiced by. My Valentine.
Ah, yes.
Uh,
Also, best girl in my opinion. Love my.
This is true. Though Taya is also good.
We love Taya.
This is true. But let's see, who else is there? What else? We already declared Kaine peak woman.
Like that, she's the woman of all time.
She is. She is the most woman of all women.
You don't get more woman than her.
And she's a lot of woman.
She is.
And she is such, and like, that is very hard to top. But let's see, Wrath of the Righteous. I have Ember and Arushale because Arushale is such a sweetheart. She's so nice.
I gotta say Arushale is definitely best girl in my opinion. You've converted me to the cause.
Oh no, I joked last night. I'm not sure you were at my stream last night. Yeah, you might have been busy. But there was this moment where I joke that she's voiced by a woman named Nikki Thomas. I'm like, I know how she got the role because when she had to like voice the line that you're about to do it, because when you're finally able to actually do it, that's a whole part of her whole character thing. And it's so funny because I'm like, you have to make it sound like she's giving you the bedroom eyes without that being a thing in game. Like there's no model that does that because the models are isometric. And the fact that she does it not once but twice, because it's gonna happen again.
That is impressive.
And it's just like, damn. Like I'd do anything for this girl. I would move heaven and earth for it, and in fact, you kind of sort of do.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else is there? What else have we both seen is a really good question. You can throw out some as I try to think of one.
Oh, I'm thinking.
So
Golly, I guess, I mean, running out of series, just maybe some best girls in general.
Oh, I have a good one.
Oh, okay.
Teen Titans.
Oh, dang. Oh, I don't want to choose.
This is one of those, like, this says a lot about you as a person picks, too.
Starfire.
Ooh, I'm surprised you picked Starfire. I thought
it was a hard choice.
It's a hard choice. I'll go Raven just so they both get their flower. Because they both deserve it.
She's so sweet. I love her so much.
And that's also like where the voice acting kicks in of her being like, it's a delicious drink. Starfire, that's mustard. More, please. As also a mustard drinker in my youth. I was that
I didn't know you drank mustard.
Oh, no. Should I just tell the story now? Because it leads to a rather funny story.
Oh, please do.
So when I was traveling to Greece, you can't go like straight from the U.S., like New York to Greece. Note, I had to fly from California to New York to Greece across 2 days. I would not recommend that trip, by the way. I was dead by the end of 2 days of travel.
Duly noted.
But you have to fly through Germany first, because so we went through Munich. So I'm in the airport Munich airport in 2010, and I'm like, I am just hungry. I'm looking for something. I find this like sandwich shop. I get a sandwich. I eat it, and I get some what I thought was mustard, because the back of the pack was like not clear plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time I didn't know a lick of German beyond like maybe 2 words. Like I,
Right.
I think I knew how to say hello and thank you. No, I knew how to say hello and goodbye. I couldn't even say thank you. So I pick it up and I open it up and I just squirt it into my mouth. It's mayonnaise. And I'm like half asleep. I'm like, I am so disappointed in life right now. I, and the thing is, the packet was yellow. Mustard is yellow, Sardo. It's the
Oh,
universal
that's
color
so fucked
language.
up.
I was never so betrayed in my high school years.
That is treacherous. I am so sorry. I actually, if it makes you feel better, I also have a condiment story.
Go ahead. We'll get back to
I
best
think I've
girl, but this is important.
I've told you this one before, I think, but I don't think it was on the podcast. So, forgive me, I'm gonna repeat myself, but
I don't care.
the first time I ever ate sushi was when I was 11 years old, and we were on a school trip to Washington, D.C. And
Fancy.
my first sushi was in a mall food court, and I was so excited because it was a little weeb. And so I sit down and I'm looking at my plate and I'm like, oh, it's this blob of green stuff. I wonder what that is. And I pop it in my mouth, and it's wasabi. I
Mistakes
ate a
are bad.
whole fat wad of wasabi, and one of the teachers who was chaperoning us comes up to me sitting at my little table alone. It's like, why are you crying? Because I just ate wasabi.
Yeah, that happened to my younger sister when she first had sushi. She had no idea what wasabi was and tried it anyways. And she was like 4 at the
Oh
time.
no.
So
Oh, poor baby.
yeah. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think. Code Geass. Did you all? You probably also watched Code Geass back in the day.
Yes, I did.
So who was your best girl there?
Euphemia.
That's not a bad choice. She deserved better.
She did. She did. She was adorable.
I wonder. Can you guess mine? I feel like this is supremely obvious.
Uh, Karen?
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
I know you.
It's like, you know me. I'm like, do I have to say it? The answer is
I
technically
was
no.
I just want to make sure I got the name right
Yeah.
first. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah. Let's see. Some other best girls, some things we may not have both watched. You want to give out a couple before we wrap up?
Um, this is a little silly. I never really liked Read or Die, but I liked the main character.
Oh
I thought she
God.
was super cute.
I had such a massive crush on her when I was like watching Read or Die
She's
at
best girl material.
well, no, it's just like she's like Read or Die was one of those things you watched very late at night on Adult Swim,
Oh yeah.
and you see it and you're just like, wow, this is neat, and you don't remember anything really about the plot or the story, but you remember the characters, and God, is she cute as hell.
She's adorable.
And she has an incredibly very like lesbian feelings towards the other lady.
Oh yeah, it's a very lesbian-y show.
Yeah, I think it's just an OVA. I think it's like a one-time thing. I know it had a show afterwards, but I never saw it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do the Tachikoma count? No, they're goodest girl from Standalone
Yeah,
Complex. They're too much like dogs,
I would agree. They're goodest girls.
which means the major wins by default.
Yes, as she should.
as she should. I'm like, the Tachikoma are so sweet and lovable, and I'm like, no, they're like animals. They're too animally and like have the personality of children
We love them and support them, but
as they blow shit up.
yes.
And we love a small child who blows things up, like Azami from Sakura Wars 2019.
We love Azami.
She's our daughter, and we love her.
She's the best.
Yeah, she is. I
So,
go on.
sorry, go on.
No, you first.
Yeah, I'd say, I have a hard time choosing like a Sakura Wars best girl because like I enjoy a lot of them.
Yeah, and also it's like your familiarity is not as high, which is totally fair. You know, I went through that game like 2.5 times. I think I know,
Yes.
like I know who I'm talking about here, or at least I hope so.
You know what? No, Sumire's best girl.
I did show you the clip from the first one where she was throwing
You
hands.
did.
It's like, wow, this original Sakura throws hands. Like immediately steps on her kimono. It's like, whoops, did I
It's
do
on
that? And the best part is my best girl in that is Maria.
Ah, yes, I've seen
Yeah,
Maria.
I've shown you Maria. I know I've shown you Maria.
Good choice. Very
That
good
that one's a
choice.
tough one also because the first game, like they're all best girl in their own way.
Okay. I can't believe I forgot this one. Classic one here for you. Sailor Moon.
Ooh, that's a toughie. Because this is where we run into the opposite problem. Because some series have like not enough women. This series has
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women. But I'm gonna go with two.
Okay.
Number one is Tomo. Wait, actually,
Oh,
because
yeah.
like
Yeah.
because when I first saw Sailor Moon in any real capacity, because I didn't really have Sailor Moon growing up, so I only saw it every so often because I didn't have the channels for it.
Right.
Because that was the thing back in the day. But I definitely like every time I saw her, like, oh, she's really cute. And I had like the biggest crush when I was 10.
Aw.
Because
Little
you'd,
baby
yeah,
Stross.
you'd think it would be Sailor Saturn. Because that seems like or Sailor Jupiter. Because those are like my type in general. But like,
For
no,
sure.
I picked the tiny, quiet goth girl. Actually, thank you.
Hmm.
And for the inners, I'm going to go with Jupiter. Though Mercury's a very close second.
Good choice. Good choice.
As for you,
Um, for me, Haruka for sure.
yeah.
Love that lesbian.
I love that tall
Uh,
lesbian with weird problems.
love that androgynous lesbian. Um, and then probably Ray. I always liked Ray.
Yeah, also a good pick. There's not a lot of bad picks here. With that said, I think we need to do a Dragon Ball one. Got,
Oh shit.
got to go to the other side of the spectrum here for a minute.
Okay.
Who is yours?
Um, gonna be real, it was Chi Chi.
You know, that is a really like big brain choice. That is a big brain choice, Sardo.
Thank you.
I'm Videl personally, like after a
I
certain
can see
point.
that.
Yeah, but specifically when she still had the pigtails.
Yes.
Not that I hated the short hair variant. And I know why Toriyama did it because you could tell when he cut that off. He's like, I hate drawing this hair.
This.
Yeah, that is the moment where an artist is like, I hate doing this every single time, and I'm going to stop it now.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's like drawing this hair for like chapters on end was a pain in my ass, and I don't like it.
The pigtails were very charming.
The pigtails were better.
Yes.
Like, let's be real now. The pigtails were better.
I can agree.
But goddamn, were they cute?
Also,
Gohan, I understand you entirely.
yes. Also, Piccolo is like my once and forever husband. So me and a couple of my friends I had in third grade, we'd like when during recess we'd go out into like the big field by the playground and we'd play Dragon Ball Z and we would like stand like 10 feet apart from each other and scream.
Yeah,
This is something we did.
I did that with my cousin.
I and it's funny, I actually got back in touch with those friends recently.
Uh.
All of us are gay.
We're all men now.
We're all gay men.
We're all men now. It makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. I didn't realize that about myself, but here I am. But yeah, I
But
think
I would
I did something similar like that with my cousin Henry growing up because I didn't have Cartoon Network as a kid until I was like 12.
Mhm.
So I would only really get it when I was on vacation up in Michigan. So I would
Right.
watch it then. So like that's why my Dragon Ball like watching was always really weird and very fragmented. Cuz I only got like Fox, WB, and like Nickelodeon.
Oh, that's rough.
Well, no, because like the Saturday morning block for like Fox was great.
Yeah, but you didn't get Dragon Ball.
True, but I did get Esclaflowne, but not the good version of Esclaflowne.
Oh, bummer.
And I would also get a lot of Pokemon and Digimon, so I was in both of those camps.
Nice.
And the best Pokemon wife from the early days is probably Sabrina. Love me a girl who
I
will absolutely destroy me.
I am hard inclined to agree. Sabrina, and if I can't pick the same one as you, then Jessie.
I mean, Jesse, obviously, but that's. I feel like Jesse is like everyone.
Oh
Everyone
yeah.
loves. We if you grew up queer, you are a Team Rocket person,
James was my first cartoon crush ever.
and you could do.
And now I want to be him.
You could have done so much worse either way. The best part is that man would go on to, I believe, if I remember correctly, voice Seto Kaiba and have the greatest line of all time. You would have to destroy their souls. Can you live with that? You won't be able to let. Nah, I'm the head of a soulless corporation. I do that every day. And that line is from like the bad fourth season that they made, while that like weird in between season with Atlantis.
Oh, that's exquisite.
It's like, God, this is such a choice line for this character. It's like, nah. As the head of a major corporation, I do that every day.
That is so chef's kiss.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, I think that's a good place to end it. This was fun. I'm glad we did it. This was a great pick,
You
Sardo.
know,
This was your idea.
good discussion. I think that this is an interesting topic, and you know, I learned something today. I
Yeah,
don't know what it was, but I probably learned
I
something.
think what we learned here today is that our taste in women have not changed since we were like 10,
No,
and we're either should be ashamed of that or very proud of that fact, and I'm not sure which one's the right answer.
proud. It's proud.
Damn straight. Anyway, folks, this has been the Skeleton Crew podcast. I'm Stross. You can follow me on Twitter at Almighty Stross on the twitter.com, and also at on Twitch, where I stream 3 times a week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, because I believe in the rest of the world and think Sunday comes at the end of the week and not at the start.
Yes,
You can follow
and they're
Sardo
very good.
here. Oh, thank you. But you can follow Sardo here at Uncle Death on Twitch, where usually he streams art stuff, maybe games.
I wasn't feeling too good this week, but we're getting back on the stream train
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah. Hey, you got a migraine, you got a migraine.
Doing some more drawing this week. Very excited for it. I am on Twitter at Autopsy Garlands. Hit me up if you have sketch requests, because I am doing those currently. Get yourself some sweet free art.
Yeah. We've had some fun ones, like Skeleton and contemplating Picari Sweat, which is a personal favorite. MLB Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson.
Yes.
That one was mine because I'm like, I always throw you the weird curveballs.
it's a fun challenge. I appreciate the challenges because
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
no.
in my usual wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, no. I picked it because I think it's. It was just like I was talking about him earlier as a joke for something completely different of him, so he was on the mind.
It was fun. No, I appreciate
He
that.
also has
So
a very like the pictures of him are super 70s in like the funnest way. Like the
absolutely.
mustache, the hair, the glasses. We're not built like this anymore, and sometimes it's a shame.
It really is. So yeah, if you want me to, draw one of your Hall of Famers, so anything like that, hit me up. I'm always open
Random
for
Hall of Famers.
ideas.
I'm gonna have to make you draw Nate Thurman then.
All right, bring it on. But yeah,
Best
I
great
think.
bald head beard combo.
Oh man.
No hat this time, thankfully. But yeah, this is the Skeleton Crew podcast signing off. Sardo and I have to do some discussing of other things for a bit. Some scheduling,
Yes.
fun scheduling, because it's my birthday soon.
Happy birthday.
And don't say it yet. You're going to be on the birthday stream.
Okay, happy almost birthday.
There we go. Anyway, folks, good night. Or good day,
Bye.
depending on your availability or when you're listening to this. I can't control your life. If I
I said
did,
good day.
I said good night. Or no, we need to do it at like right at like the minute between like midnight and like 11:59.
I said good night. Good
It's like that half second before it changes. Anyway, folks, good night.
night.